So we all had Father's Day on Sunday. I hope everybody enjoyed their Father's Day as much as I enjoyed mine. Had time to spend with the little one. You know, he spent all of my money. That's one thing he's great at. Daddy, let's spend some money. I still, even though we talked about power of the dollar, I still don't think we recognize how much money affects everyday life, especially kids. You know, when you're growing up, you don't think money is that important because you're spending your parents' money for the most part until they make you get your first ever job. I know some of us now have great jobs, you know, getting paid well. We get the days that we want off, but we all didn't start there. Some of us started doing a lot of things we didn't want to do for our first job. I can't say I felt like that about my first job, but let's just say I didn't think it would be my first job. But as my grandmother would say, all aboard the working train. Dear Love, episode 13. 13. What an unlucky number. And that's exactly how I felt with the job. Unlucky. I had to be 13. And I actually was working for my church under the table. We had to come in every Saturday and basically get the church together. You know, we had to clean under the chairs, sweep and mop. It was different things that they had us doing. One day, though, one of our jobs was to clean the pastor's car as far as wash it. And I'm like, all right, I guess this is pretty cool. You know, but all of that led to like me playing in the little youth basketball league with the different churches. And, you know, we were actually running plays and things like that. And it was like a job. They paid us to do that too. So it was like clean the church, play basketball. I think it was more so of getting all the kids together instead of just being out in the streets and doing different things like that. I think they was just trying to get everybody together to do something positive, especially at that age. I wasn't doing nothing. I mean, I was playing sports, but I mean, wasn't doing nothing. So I remember, I'm trying to remember how much we'd get paid. We'd get like maybe $40, $50 a week. Like I said, coming in on a Saturday, cleaning the church for Sundays. Sometimes it was like Friday also. Like we'd come in Fridays and Saturdays. Because, you know, you got Bible study on Tuesdays and different things. But I thought I was the man when I was getting my first, you know, $50. And it was always in an envelope. So it made me feel special. It had my name on it. Like, look at me. I done made $50 a day. So I do the little $50 dance. Now, I know right now you're probably wondering, like, what is the $50 dance? I just made that part up. So erase that out your mind. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. There was a lot of kids, and we all, was cleaning the church and making money. But the thing about making money is, what do you do when you get your first check? When I got my first real check as far as taxes coming out, I think I bought a pair of shoes. Again, I'm living with my parents. You know, I'm just like, money come, money go. And that's the problem. I don't think we take the time to really think about the future. Some of us get that check and just blow it. You know, whether we getting our hair done, nails done, everything did. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Do we even use the word fancy anymore? Side note, we going to cut away for a minute. Man, there was a time everybody would use the word fancy. You fancy, huh? Hey, that song was pretty. All right. Anyway, back to the story. Yeah, people would blow their checks on anything. I know I was bad with it, especially with the shoe game. I used to buy every pair of shoes. The problem with me is I buy the shoes and forget that you got to wear other stuff with it. So I wouldn't buy a lot of T-shirts. You know, this was the time where I could just white tee it out. You had a white tee, a black tee, a red tee, a blue tee, and that was it. And then you just get some shoes to match it. But that was my first job. Working at a church, getting $50 a week, thinking I'm the man at 14. And then I grew up. Now it's sacrifices and pay this and pay that. And it's, I got mad just thinking about it. Sorry. A lot of us sacrifice bills for fun. And I think we do that because we so used to being on our, well, not being on our own. We're so used to living with our parents and letting somebody else take on the workload for taking care of bills and things like that, to the point where you get your own bills. It's like, man, that's why we miss being a kid again, because we could do what the hell we want to do and spend our own money on what we wanted to spend it on. But my parents, my grandparents, everybody always told me it's nothing like turning your key in that door. And they were right. Once you got your own key to turn, it's a whole nother feeling. My cousin sat me down one time because when I got out of high school, I had a job, but I didn't have my own spot right away. I was, living with my mom or living with my dad, just collecting my checks, blowing it on drinks and clothes and just trying to keep up with fashion. And he told me, he said, man, it's time for you to get your own spot. It's time for you to get your own place. I remember before I was working, I love him for this. He told me, he said, man, it's time for you to get a job. When I first got out of high school, I was doing little side stuff, but I wasn't really working like I should. I was just sitting around and being a bum. I mean, everybody else was being a bum. Why can't I? Niggas wasn't working for real. They was just doing whatever they do, get a couple dollars. I had a Boost phone, a Chirp, and I would have my dad put like minutes on it, or I'm trying to remember how it went, but put minutes on it, and I'd chirp people and do all of that. But yeah, that was about it. So he talked me into, really working, man. He took me to do applications, all of that. Then I started running Family Dollar. I started off as a crew member, of course, but I had got my first apartment. I had everything, phones and TVs and all of that, and it was weird though, because the older you get, the more money you spend, or the older you get, the more your money goes into different things, and it's less fun, I should say. Because I was the one, man, I had to have every game system, every game that came out. When I had to start paying bills, it was like, man, I don't want to pay no bill. And can you tell I made a face when I just said that? Man, I don't want to pay no bill. Yeah. Anyway, so I definitely got my spot though, and it felt great to be able to walk in and just sit down, to the point I started walking around naked. Hey, this mine. I could do whatever I want. I could hit a backflip. I could leave the TV on. My mother can't tell me what to do here. Daddy can't tell me what to do here. But you have to learn those lessons while you living with your parents. I try to teach my son the same stuff. Even though he only 3, I drill him about certain things, because if I knew what I knew now, and you hear everybody say that, if I knew what I knew now, I would be better off. And I don't want to hear that. We learn lessons for a reason. Sometimes we hit our head a little harder than others, but everybody gonna hit their head. Everybody gets stubborn. But it took me to really sit back and realize, before you know it, you're that guy. You're that man for the family. And then you eventually have your own family. So even when you're not working that 9 to 5, you're still working. 24/7, you on the clock. And that's the separation that kids don't see, because we're kids. We thinking about the fun and the playing. But if you look at everywhere around the world, or not even just in different countries, there are people who teach their kids from the gate on, how to play the piano or football, basketball. And, a lot of us say, oh man, well, we started late, but it's never too late to win. It's never too late to get out there and do what you got to do. So we should take more advantage of the money that we get. Put a couple dollars to the side. Don't be afraid to get that check and use it like it's the last check you're going to get. Because, and I fall in that bag too. You get a check, you say, oh, I'm going to blow this one because I know next time I'm going to have another one. Like, we take jobs for granted. We take people for granted. We take our own money for granted. Your money not guaranteed to be there tomorrow either, just like the job or just like the people. But it gets to a point where you got to start making business type decisions. When you're that adult turning that key instead of your mom turning the key, now you're turning your own key. A lot come with that. I first got my apartment. I thought it was the kick it spot. Oh, we got the bachelor pad now, y'all. We about to have fun. Nah, that's not the case. Cause I used to get so mad, man. My dad stayed on me about a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, man, this nigga tripping, man. He always want me to do this. He always want me to do that. But I started finding myself saying the same things my father said, and I appreciate him while he's still here. You know, we appreciate people too late. Our grandparents, our moms, our dads. We appreciate everything too late. Let's appreciate things while it's still here, while it's still in front of us. So I took everything my dad said, and I'm like, you right. You know, I took everything my mom said, everything that people around me say. They say you a sponge when you were a kid, but why not be a sponge when you're an adult also? Learn from the people around you. Learn from your peers. Learn from your kids. You know, your kids could teach you stuff about computers nowadays you never knew. I just think we all need to sit down and reconstruct, if we're not on the right path, reconstruct the way we do things and appreciate more. That's what I'm doing. Until one day you get up and notice everything is gone. You'll be one of those people saying, oh, I used to. Don't be a used to. Wasn't that a song too? There I go being. Anyway, you got to be a sponge at all times. Learn from your childhood. Learn as you're an adult. Teach the kids that's coming after us. It's never too late. It's never too late. Even if you want to go back to school, you got people getting their diplomas and different things at the age of 40 and 42 and 43. I mean, you could be any age and get it done, but don't be afraid to get it done. I think we sit back too much and just live. Let's live for something. Look, now I sound like I'm on a podium somewhere. Let's live for something on the count of 3. 1, 2. Don't repeat that. On a serious note, though, gotta stay positive, gotta move forward. And as you're growing up, just realize it's a blessing to even be alive every day. Forget living past the age of something. Every day you're alive. Every second that you breathe is a blessing. And just gotta continue to grow, continue to take care of your families, and do what you got to do to win in your life. Winning in society and winning in your life are two different things. Winning to you might just be able to be alive, stay out of jail. So take it as it is and keep moving forward. Dear love, T. Shaw, I'm out of here.